Que pasa familia de dinero? I'm your host Hachi, back in the cut, and we about to turn the degrees up. Let's get cooking with ticker symbol SOFI. Last time that we talked about SoFi, it was at $11, and concurrently it's hit a new 52-week high at $16. Congratulations to anybody that has gotten in early. Now, if you're already subscribed to the channel, I want to say a huge shout out to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. And if you're new to this channel and you clicked onto this video, I hope that you stick around, buckle up, and enjoy the information provided in one concise video for you. I ask you to do nothing, not to like, not to comment, but if you feel involved and wanting to join the familia, I would say a huge thank you and welcome. And now, without further ado, let's head on over to the graph. Okay, so we got the 10-day, 30-minute graph here. And so we could see that there's been quite a bit of volume on the days that it's active, especially during the market hours, and it's been a healthy growth. Now, I like to take in consideration the full picture, so I'm going to do a 180-day time frame in the 4-hour. We can see it was been quite stagnant. There was some potential movements to push it up, but ever since the news that has been kind of bringing this stock up and up and up, it's been doing a lot better. Even if we look at the 3-year time frame, now it's nowhere near where it used to be, and there's people sitting up here at the $18.69 level saying, man, I've been waiting for this. I've been hurting this whole entire time for years and years. So you have individuals that are going to be getting out, even though it's about the time when you get in and when you get out. I'm a big believer in that. I'll give you guys my financial thoughts for my personal self. I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I a crystal ball, but I kind of have my own advice that I abide by, and I'll just say them out loud. I'm not telling you to do it, but if you can look at the 3-year time frame, there is potential to go up. How much? That is important. If we look at, let's just get even crazier. Okay, so even if I wanted to do it at the 5-year, the highest high is at $28.26. Now, are we ever going to hit that ever again? That is to be questioned, and we'll read some economic data that can say if it might raise or fall. Now, we do have a time where feds are cutting rates, and that's always good for SoFi. They claim to be a technology kind of company, but it also delves into loans, stocks. It goes into a whole different, like a lot of kind of divisions. So a lot of the catalyst is Fed cuts, greater times within consumer spending that can kind of push this stock up. But let's go ahead and switch over to scenes where economic data matters and why we didn't see it even climb further yesterday. Okay, so we're going to go over this economic data that came out Wednesday, November 27th, 2024. Now at 8:30 a.m., we had durable goods orders month over month. That did fantastic. We had negative 0.4% previous, and it did 0.2%. So it's in the positive. Now we had GDP growth rate quarter over quarter second, and it's going to be actually down 2%. So it was previously 3 and it's at 2.8%. So down 0.2%. We also had core PCE price index month over month that stayed the same. Personal income month over month actually improved. So it's at it was at 0.3%. It is now 0.6%. And now spending, we have 0.4% coming in, and previously it was 0.6. 0.6%. Consensus is saying 0.3%, and forecasted is looking like they want it at 4.4%. Now, the U.S. economy grows at 2.8% pace in third quarter on consumer spending, unchanged from the first estimate. Now, I'm going to have my thoughts on this as to why we're seeing growth at the end of the year at the end. So stick around for that. The American economy expanded at a healthy 2.8% annual pace from July through September on strong consumer spending and a surge in exports, the government said Wednesday, leaving unchanged its initial estimate of third quarter growth. So the Fed inflation gauge ticker higher in October amid consumer spending boost. We're seeing a lot of consumer spending. That's good. And so we could see why the stock market got these results, right? Got these results, didn't like a whole lot of them or did like some. They did a pullback a little previously. It was like take profit, Black Friday coming up. Let's take the profit, let the price go up. We'll get it back in, let everybody sell off, let the consumers sell off, get back in at a lower price. We'll bring it back up. Okay, so now everybody's got to jump back in. They lost money. Now they're jumping back in. They're like, oh, okay. So let's go over SoFi. 1612 is where it ended. And then after hours, if we refresh the screen, it was at 1620. We also have Reddit, which this was 2 days ago. Jefferies raises the target price from SoFi from $13 to $19. So Jeffrey analysis John, I don't know how to say that, maintained SoFi technology with a buy rating and adjusted the target price from $13 to $19. So that's fantastic. We're going to read a article here. Jefferies analyst John, I don't know how to say that, maintains SoFi technology with a buy rating and adjusts the target price from 13 to 19. So there is substantial amount of room to grow. According to Tip Ranks data, the analyst has success rate of 61%, so take that into consideration, and a total average return of 12.1% over the past year. That's not too bad. I mean, as long as it's not in the negative, but of course these are analysts, right? So the success rate is definitely gonna have to be taken in consideration. So let's go over here. SoFi Technology stock forecasts and price predictions of 2025 and 2030. So at the 5-day prediction, they said $13.21. Well, that was wrong. At the 1 month prediction is saying that it should go up to $16.58. That's nice. 3 month prediction still going up, and that's going to be at $28.60. Now, again, we would have to combine that with technicals. If we look back at the graph, let me bring that up real quick. If we look at the graph real quick, we do notice that at the 5 year, this is the 5 year, remember. So 5 day a year, 1 day, 5 year, 1 day, right? The highest was at $28.26. We do have room to grow, but we saw that 5 years ago, there was a exponential push right here that pushed the stock all the way up over that time frame. Starting in January 7th. So this could be another situation where we see it go to $22 by that time in January with another push, because a lot of times a lot of stocks go up during this time. So we might see that push. But again, what matters the most is, you know what? I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that for the end, because this is what matters most for this stock. And we also had an article actually put out yesterday from NASDAQ. SoFi January 2025 options begin trading. Investors in SoFi Technology saw new options begin trading today for the January 2025 expiration day on our yield boost contract and identifiers. Yield boost formula. They have like these two lines scrunched together. Has looked up and down the SoFi options change for the new January 2025 contracts and identified the following call contracts of particular interest. The call contract at the $16.50 strike price has a current bid of 76 cents. If any investor was to purchase shares of SoFi stock at the current price level of $15.79, it's no longer that price. Concurrently, it might drop down, and then sell to open the call contract as a covered call. They are committed to sell the stock at $16.50. Okay, so we're seeing an uptick of people purchasing call options in 2025. Now, I'm going to gain access to see exactly what call actions are being listed at this time. Okay, so we also have tip ranks, and this is going to be SoFi stock sky high valuation can't be justified by exciting growth. Now, this individual that I read from, James Fox, is not too bullish on a lot of stocks. I'm going to be honest, but Story highlights SoFi technology has performed remarkably well over the past year, driven by strong macroeconomic environment. However, I'm struggling to justify the sky-high valuation. So this individual is kind of bringing a lot of people down to earth. The stock has been growing exponentially. When I first bought it, I think it was around $7. Now it's not even 100% return. It's over 100%. Is that justified? I'll give you guys my thoughts and everything like that here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and switch over to the next scene. SoFi is having quite a bit of call options in January. We're seeing a lot of individuals that want to get in right now, make some money on this new run on Black Friday. A lot of individuals are going out, they're spending money, they're trying to get ahead with the holidays. And SoFi is a stock that I believe is something that goes with the economy. A lot of stocks go with it, but more so SoFi is a technology company, granted, but it does specialize in banking. So with the Fed cuts and everything like that, it does help loans to be given out. SoFi is in that sector. And so when we look at the Feds cutting rates, we see people buying more. The stock is like, okay, this is really going up. We're seeing a lot more members, as I went over in my last video. Every number and metric is going up exponentially. So when I made the video last time, I said, hey, it'll end the week at $11, and I was 100% correct. Do I see it ending this year around the $16 range? I would say it is about a 75% chance. I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I a crystal ball. I think it's a 75% chance. The only thing that can throw it off, and here's the big thing, is if there was a war that's coming out. I think that can knock it down to around the $13, $14 range. And then if we get any more bad economic news, it can bump it all the way down to the $10 range, where we saw that they were wrong in that article. But the reason why I say that is this stock is heavy on a rally. It has a lot of, retail investors, and it has some big investors as well. But the thing is that this stock is, of course, or this company itself is it's not JP Morgan. It's not, Wells Fargo. It's its own entity. I keep on saying SoFi Technologies. It's literally in the name. So it's something different. And it's really the biggest catalyst is going to be retail investors. On top of that, it's going to be the economic data. If there's room for banking new companies like this to grow, then SoFi can grow. But again, take this in consideration. I like to look at both sides, have a stop loss. This is not financial advice, but for myself, I have a stop loss. So I take profit. A lot of individuals want to hold on to this company for a long time. But if we go back to the chart, let's go back to the chart, looking at the big picture. This is the 5-year time frame. And if we look at the 5-year time frame, there were individuals at the $28 area, and they said, hey, we're good. This company is just going to keep going up. But shortly after, throughout the year, it went down. It did spike back up, and it went down, and it did spike up. And for the longest, it was on the downtrend due to the fact that we had inflation just go crazy over the past 4 years, right? 4 years. So we had great time in 2021. A lot of stocks went up, but inflation started becoming a huge problem when people were like, man, okay, we're giving out the stimulus, there's overspending, everything costs too much. So now we're kind of getting back up on there. So if we were to give out money again, if for the next 4 years we come out, and this is the biggest thing, if for the next 4 years Trump takes office and we're able to spend money, we're able to do what we need to do, we're back on track, those years, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's the time to capitalize, because once inflation comes back, and it seems like it's trying to come back, when inflation comes back, I believe SoFi can repeat the same pattern. Let me go ahead and bring up even a further time frame. Okay, so if we go back and look at when they first started, it was great growth for that year. Just that area right here, it was great growth, and it went up. And then what happened was it went up so much during that time because spending was such a huge thing right there. 2021, a lot of stocks went up crazy, and a lot of stocks did the same thing, went down. Then we saw it go back up, then it went down, then it went up, then it went down. And so it just went down for the next few years, where spending was just not prevalent. Loans weren't given out. I mean, SoFi at one point was struggling to stay on. So I think that for the next 4 years, you know, SoFi, if spending is still available, no war, I am bullish. War, I am not bullish. So that's why, you know, you see profit, take profit. I think that a lot of people want to see this become a JP Morgan Chase, and it could be. I think a lot of individuals want to see this a flourishing, you know, banking technology, banking. I think that there's a place for it. But again, if you're somebody that is blinded and all you see is green, you will not realize that it'll go red the next day. So know the catalyst as to what moves the stock. Look at the technicals on the day-to-day. But to me, I'm a long-term holder, a swing trader. So I try to do my best to gauge companies that are undervalued and that can actually spring to action in times where it makes sense. Now, you know, your Roth IRA is the area where you want to, you know, just stick your money in. Don't worry about it, right? Your your ETFs, right? You want to go ahead and put your money into those, let them grow over time. You'll get a 10, 12% return depending on which stocks. But then over here, you have to learn your winners. And then you could see that, okay, you know what, I made a 100% return over the 3 months. Let me go ahead and move. This one's really making money, and it still has room to grow. I think that SoFi still has room to grow. So for me, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna allow this to rock, maybe get to close to the $20 region, and if it surpasses its high, I'll be happy. But again, I understand that there's people that's been sitting up there for some time. So sales are going to have to happen, right? And that's where you gotta battle it out. That's the danger. But SoFi, I see that there's a positive future. It's all about mitigating your, I definitely don't want any losses. I ain't taking a loss. That's something I learned this. I ain't taking no loss. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch all of you in the next one. Adios.